Honorable Camila Gonsalves, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology. Your Excellency, Fiona Fan, Mr. Christopher Benjamin, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Carlon Brown, Director of Information Technology Services Division. Other dignitaries in our midst, members of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, members of staff of the Information Technology Services Division, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. As Vincentians, we are known for our warm hospitality, and we are getting it in spades this afternoon. So we want to begin this afternoon's proceedings. It really is a joy and a special occasion to be here to begin phase 2 of our CCTV project. We have come a long way. We may have some way to go, but we are making progress as a small developing nation. As Mrs. Joseph Oliver prayed a while ago, we have had a very long-lasting relationship with the Republic of China, Taiwan. In an instant world, fast-paced world, there is still a place for longevity. And as a nation, we are grateful that we have had a successful relationship with the Republic of China and Taiwan for over 40 years. That is nothing to sneeze at. So I pause for a moment. I call this an expressive moment. As patriots, as members of the citizens of the Republic of China, Taiwan, we can give each other a nod, a handshake, a fist bump, whatever you want to do. We pause for just that kind of, relationship right now. So let's loosen up ourselves and let's do it. A handshake. Thank you very much. It is something to celebrate. As a developing nation, we treasure these kinds of relationships. They redound to the benefit of our small country and, of course, our partner, the Republic of China and Taiwan. So we treasure these relationships. Before I call Mr. Carlon Brown to bring brief remarks, I'd like to also acknowledge others in the room. When I call your name, if you can just stand and acknowledge. We call Chief Kevin Lin. He's from the Taiwan Technical Mission. Mr. Williams Adilehu. He's a consultant from the Systex Company, Taiwan, and the one spearheading the installation of the cameras for phase 2 of the CCTV project. We also acknowledge Mr. William Escobar, also another consultant from the Systex Company. He's way in the back. He just gave us a wave. We acknowledge you, sir. Also, Mr. Charles Liu. He organized training that was held for the last 2 weeks on ethical hacking. We acknowledge you, sir. And also Mr. Aita Chi, who was the trainer himself. Thank you very much for your hard work, and I'm sure your students can attest to the fact that they would have gained knowledge from all of your efforts. So without further ado, I would now invite to the podium my director our director at ITSD, Mr. Callan Brown, to bring brief remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Armstrong. Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon.
Please allow me to adopt the already established protocol. Now, I've been given specific instructions to be brief. And in this heat, I intend to do just that. First off, I would like to applaud the continued collaborative effort between the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Republic of China, Taiwan, for the various development projects and initiatives being undertaken across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, we are here to mark the launch of the second phase of the Enhancing Public Safety with the Intelligent Video Analytics Project. So I'm just going to highlight a few key statistics. In this phase, we'll see the addition of 160 cameras along with 30 body cameras distributed across St. Vincent and the Grenadines across 29 locations. Included among these 29 locations are the Grenadine islands of Union and Bequia that were not covered as part of the Phase 1 project. This would see the sum total of cameras deployed across St. Vincent and the Grenadines under both phases of the project to 360, along with 30 body cameras. That by no understatement, that's an extraordinary achievement by any standard for a small island developing nation. Once the project is completed, ITSD will be charged with the overall maintenance of the CCTV system. This includes the maintenance of the cameras on a day-to-day ongoing basis, the maintenance of the network infrastructure that provides connectivity to the cameras, and the back-end server management of the overall system, all of which will ensure the optimal functionality of the CCTV system and proper image quality. Now, I just want to add here that this is no small undertaking, but the management and staff of ITSD is up for the task. Over the years, the working relationship between the officers of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force, the members of the delegation of the Republic of China, Taiwan assigned to the project, and the staff of ITSD has been excellent. And I'm confident that we'll continue to work collaboratively as we embark on the implementation of Phase 2 to ensure its success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. You're a man of your word. You did say you were going to be brief, but in those brief remarks, you told us a lot of information. You told us who the stakeholders are in this phase of the project. Republic of China, Taiwan, and from the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have the Information Technology Services Division, and of course, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. So thank you very much. And we know that the collaboration between these agencies will continue for many years to come, even beyond the CCTV project. I'm not prophesying, but I'm just hopeful. I would now therefore like to invite Mr. Christopher Benjamin, Assistant Commissioner of Police from the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, to the podium to bring brief remarks. Let's welcome Mr. Benjamin.
Pleasant good afternoon to all. Madam Master of Ceremonies, I won't say I'm adopting the protocol established. It will be remiss of me. But let me say, as we're at the head table, Ambassador Fiona Fan, Honorable Camilo Gonsalves, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning, and Information Technology. To those in the audience listening, I don't want to call name because I might get into trouble with the pronunciation of some of the name and some people portfolios. You heard some statistical information as to numbers of cameras. As to the first phase, I think we have over 180-something cameras which was installed. And the second phase, we have a total of around 190, including the body cameras. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, we appreciate and welcome this initiative. It is a useful tool in our crime-fighting armory. The heightening awareness of some benefit of CCTV that I will outline here, and they are not limited to crime prevention, reducing costs where security is concerned, deterrent from vandalism, handling dispute, because there are times when we've been called upon to provide footages for some incident, and for statistical information, you can always touch base with Inspector Rodney, who can provide that through our IT department, who have that responsibility of recovering data. We have statistical data, as I mentioned, and it is a clear indication of the usage. There are some technical adjustments and modification that needed to improve what we have established. The platform and framework is there for the necessary development. That's what's coming on stage now, and we welcome this initiative because security is a very, very expensive venture, and we need to partner with other stakeholders so that we can realize this initiative. The friendship and working relationship with both countries are phenomenal. We have a very good working relationship. To this extent, I will say, long live the People's Republic of Taiwan and China, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I hope that we will continue to go stronger and stronger in this relationship, and we will realize more benefit that will serve our nation in good stead for years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Assistant Commissioner. And we are grateful that you highlighted that the cameras enhance your crime-fighting armory. So we know we are not wasting our time, our efforts, and not in vain. Before we move forward with today's ceremony, I would also like to acknowledge from Phase 1, Mr. David Fu. He was the project manager for Phase 1, so I don't know if he's viewing the stream. It would be in the morning in Taiwan, but we acknowledge him for all of his efforts while he was the project manager for Phase 1. We also acknowledge Yang. Forgive me for not calling your first name, but you're such an integral part of us. You're like a Vinci. We acknowledge all of your hard work. You're very hard work, and we appreciate you. Could you just stand for persons to recognize you? Yes, this is Yang. I'd also now acknowledge our current project manager, Mr. Ray Wen. Mrs. Donette O'Neill. She has been project coordinator for phase 1 and also now for phase 2. Could you stand and be acknowledged, Mrs. O'Neill? Mrs. Simone Joseph Oliver is another project coordinator for phase 2. We want to acknowledge you. She prayed earlier. We acknowledge you, Mrs. Joseph Oliver. All right. I cannot forget Mr. Rodney. Inspector Rodney. He is like the glue that gels together the police force and ITSD in collaboration with the CCTV project. We acknowledge your hard work today. All right. So we now invite to the podium Your Excellency, Fiona Fan, to bring remarks. Let's welcome Her Excellency, please.
Thank you. Honorable Camille Gonzalez, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning, Sustainable Development and Information Technology. Mr. Christopher Benjamin, Assistant Commissioner of Police, ISVGP. Mr. Callum Brown, Director, ITSD, police officers, and government officials, distinguished guests, media friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, as we gather to celebrate the official opening of our significant collaboration project, Enhancing Public Safety with Intelligent Video Analytics Project, I extend my warmest greetings to all of you. Special thanks to Minister Gonzalez and his team for the vision to initiate this project and the trust and partnership with Taiwan. Talking about vision, this morning I read a news regarding the Sandoz resort is in his advanced stage, ready to open early next year. The news stated that the birth of the Sandoz was originated by a letter issued by Minister Gonzalez to invite the team to explore the possibility to operate in the Sandoz team to operate in St. Vincent back in 2016, right before the Argyle International Airport was opened. I mentioned Argyle International Airport as Taiwan also participated in the construction of the terminal. So what a fruitful outcome we witnessed today. I'll say a great journey started with a small step, but you need profound vision and leadership. Congratulations, Minister. As you may be aware, Taiwan stands as a global powerhouse in advanced ICT manufacturing, leading the way in high-end semiconductor fabrication, which commands an impressive 90% share of the global market. In our rapid evolving world, information and communication technology and the Internet of Things, IoT, are crucial in shaping smart cities, revolutionizing our way of life and impacting the environment, society, and the economy. They also play a pivotal role in enhancing our social security system. On March 10, 2023, the government of Taiwan and St. Vincent and the Grenadines signed an implementation arrangement for this project, aiming to improve surveillance in public spaces for the safety of our citizens and bolster our social security system. Today, we are enhancing the SVG police force with 160 high-resolution cameras, as the Director already mentioned, and 30 mobile cameras for officers, improving their monitoring capabilities and response times. will also implement a license plate recognition system for traffic safety and crime prevention to strengthen our social security system further. Moreover, in our pursuit of modernizing surveillance systems, we are dedicated to implementing cutting-edge technologies that not only enhance security, but also prioritize energy efficiency, aligning with our commitment to environmental sustainability and the responsible use of resources. Additionally, we'll provide information courses, including cybersecurity, with experts like Mr. Lei Ta-Chi to elevate SBG's expertise, contributing to the overall enhancement of our social security infrastructure. Our commitment is to promote modernization and sustainable development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines through technology and knowledge exchange, educational collaborations, and the strengthening of our social security system. In conclusion, I thank all participants and supporters for their dedication. We anticipate a positive and enduring impact on SVG's development and a bright future of cooperation between our nations. I wish you a fruitful afternoon and a great weekend ahead. Especially to the team from Taiwan, I encourage you to explore all the fantastic things that this country has to offer, including warm hospitality, beautiful beaches, and the sunshine, and the happiness. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And I imagine that as the new ambassador, we are going to get to know you better as the years go by. And I know that you will continue the wonderful work that your predecessors have done over the years. So thank you very much for addressing us this afternoon. We come to our own Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology. I don't think we're going to box him in with a brief word before remarks. We'll give him some leeway. So let's welcome our Minister of Finance, Honorable Camilo Gonsalves.
Good afternoon. We were told at the beginning of this by our Mistress of Ceremonies that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is known for its warm hospitality, but I think we're past warm right now. We're a little bit, we're into hot. and because it's so hot, even though you give me leeway, I don't want us to have to sit too long in this heat, listening to hot air, making things even hotter. So I'll try to be brief. But I'd like to recognize and welcome again Ambassador Fiona Fan, who is our new, Taiwan's new ambassador to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I've seen her before, but we'll have to welcome her every time for a few months until we make sure that she feels all of the warmth and hospitality. So I want to welcome her again to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. She has experience working in small island developing state. She's worked in Singapore. She has experience working at places that have nice beaches, because she's worked in Australia. But we think that she'll have a special place in her heart for St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the time we're done. So I want to welcome her. Recognize ACP Benjamin. I know I'm getting old because I remember when you became inspector. And I used to call you Inspector Min, combining Inspector and Benjamin. And now you are now the ACP, and thank you for your words and the importance. I want to recognize very much Carlin and his wonderful team at ITSD that continue to do magnificent work, the entire team. the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is engaged in something called a digital transformation project, where we are trying to use technology to improve the citizens' experience, living, working, and interacting with the government across multiple levels. And this is a large project. It's a lot of money. It's funded largely by the World Bank. And before the politicians get to say the cool things and say, look at what we've done here, there's a lot of work that has to happen in the background. There's a lot of programming, there's a lot of back office, back of house type things that have to take place. And I know that ITSD is working extremely hard right now to get that background work done. And that once that background work is done, the visible aspects of the digital transformation will become very readily apparent. And it's a major investment, and I think ITSD has been doing an excellent job, so I just wanted to recognize them for that good work today. And of course, our friends beyond the ambassador, our friends from Taiwan, who have demonstrated time and again magnificent cooperation, communication, and sometimes patience with us. They've done excellent work across multiple fields, but I think that the work on the CCTV program is exemplary, and it's a highlight and a model for the type of cooperation that we seek to have in our developmental efforts here between the governments of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Taiwan. And thank you very much for all of your hard work. Her Excellency, the Ambassador, mentioned Taiwan's work on the international airport at Argyle, and said, and it's correct, that the investment, the Sandals investment around the corner, is directly related to the international airport at Argyle. If there wasn't an international airport, there wouldn't be a Sandals. And if there wasn't an international airport, there wouldn't be a Sandals, and Sandals is in the midst of a job fair at the moment where, as of this morning, they had decided to hire 400 Vincentians, and by the end of today, they hope that that number will be in excess of 500 Vincentians. And all of it traces back to the presence of this airport. But Taiwan has been at the cornerstone of almost all of our developmental aspirations. If you talk about agriculture, there'll be many examples of Taiwan's support for agriculture. There are tissue laboratories, there's assistance when we've been hit by diseases, there's work improving the capacity of farmers. If you talk about education, Taiwan has been very present with scholarships and education here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You talk about infrastructure, Taiwan is in the middle of, at the beginning of their support for our massive road rehabilitation program. Their construction firm, OECC, is in the process of signing over $20 million worth of contracts for the construction of roads across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A lot of that will roll out before this year is over. And so on and so on. In fact, if you talk about internships, and I know that's not why we're here, so I'm just going to leave it at this. We have 3 programs, the YES program, the SET program, and the on-site program, that all place young people in internships at different levels to get real-world experience, work experience, and position themselves better for future employment. Among the YES, SET, and on-site programs, there are over 1,000 young people currently enjoying paid internships. And at all 3 of those levels, YES, SET, and on-site, those stipends to those interns are being paid by the government and people of Taiwan. And I want to thank them on behalf of those 1,000 young people, because 1,000 young people is a lot of young people in a country like St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I want to thank them on that, which brings us to this area of cooperation. Taiwan has always been a partner to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Taiwan has often partnered with us in terms of technology, Kaswalan and others can talk about the training, and there's the center that had been built and work on public key architecture and security and all the rest of it. But a lot of the early cooperation between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Taiwan was stuff that happened behind the scenes, that the average citizen wouldn't be able to see and feel and touch and understand even. Most of it I didn't understand. And a few years ago when a delegation visited Taiwan, we started to talk about ways in which their expertise in technology could assist the average Vincentian or the day-to-day lives of Vincentians. And we thought about the way that technology could be employed in the fight against crime and to enhance the capacity of our police to dissuade crime, to investigate crime, and to prosecute criminals. And we decided that the use of CCTV, the deployment of CCTV in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, would be a big help to that type of activity. We're approaching the point now where, as Carlan tells us, when this is rolled out, we're going to have 360 CCTV cameras all across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that's a remarkable achievement. Think back 2 or 3 years ago, and ACP Benjamin would know about this. When there was a crime or when there was a criminal hotspot in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the way that we applied technology to that problem was to say, let's put a street light on that corner. That's how we applied technology in the fight against crime. We would say, such and such a corner has a problem. Call VINLEC, let's put up a street light. That was our technology on the front lines in terms of crime. Obviously, we had other things that we did, but I'm talking about what we would do at the site of the challenge. Now, we're able to say, let us get a high-resolution camera with low lux that can see in the dark and send a live stream of information directly to a control center in Kitels that can be archived and pulled back up in the investigation of crime. That is a quantum leap ahead of where we were just a couple of years ago. And it's important to recognize the leap that we have taken with the support of our friends in Taiwan. First, they built, and most of us, I believe, in this room have already seen it, but they built a top-class command center here in this police station, and then they began to deploy the cameras. And the cameras have done excellent work. Inspector Rodney, who is our champion in the police force in the use of CCTV, Inspector Rodney tells me that there have been close to 500 requests to the police for information from the cameras related to a host of crimes, related to theft, property damage, robbery, accidents, escapes. I believe there was an escape, and even murder. And that information, the police, because of the network of cameras that they have, of those roughly 500 requests, the police have been able to respond to 347, call it 350 of those requests with information. They've been able to provide information from the cameras. So at 200 cameras, we were able to respond to 70% of the requests that police made for information on crime. Imagine what we'll do when we go from 200 to 360 cameras. And I'm told by people who know these things that these cameras are of a higher resolution, they have better low light visibility, and they will have the capacity to implement number plate recognition information, which means that as good as the previous cameras were, these cameras are even better. And I want to thank the government and people of Taiwan again for not dumping their old tech on us, but giving us the new technology as the new technology becomes available. Thank you. The value of the cameras will never be solely in the data that Inspector Rodney is giving us about how many crimes have been, how many times they've been asked for information. Because a criminal who sees a camera on the corner is deterred from committing a crime in that location. So the cameras have a deterrent effect. And then when crimes occur, the cameras have yet and will yet prove their utility as a tool in the prosecution of crimes. The wheels of justice grind a little bit slowly in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and across the Eastern Caribbean. So there's data that has been archived that is waiting to be used in criminal prosecutions, and we will be able to use that data as we go forward. So time will tell the full utility of these cameras. Some of the challenges that Inspector Rodney has identified in the past will be addressed by these cameras. Sometimes he said, well, we're a little bit far, where the camera is was a little bit far away from the crime, the resolution wasn't the best, it was a little bit dark, we couldn't tell with precision exactly who that was. You might know, but whether or not it would be admissible and conclusive in court is another story. And so these improved cameras will enhance the abilities. I believe Carolyn was showing me sample video from one of the big ones. What's it called? The PTZ. It's down at Arnesvale, and the man is looking, it's like watching HD TV. It's really, really top quality, and I'm happy for that. Additionally, the police force will have the benefit of 30 body cams. And everywhere you go in the developed world, you hear about the importance of body cams in fighting crime, in investigating crime, sometimes the importance of body cams in resolving citizen complaints, because very often citizens make claims against the police. Sometimes those claims are accurate, and sometimes those claims are fanciful. But in either case, the presence of the body cam will help to resolve that in the interest of the citizen and in the interest of the proper prosecution of law and order in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I'm very grateful that the body cams have been made part of the mix. 360 cameras in a country of 110,000 people is good coverage. I'm trying to do math in my head and I'm not succeeding, but I think that you're talking about one camera for fewer than 300 people each, if you did it as an average. And because the cameras are concentrated in urban areas, I think the coverage is even better than that when you consider where the high crime areas are. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. It's like having a police officer on every corner where you see a camera, because everything that's happening on that corner can be seen here in Kittels, can be recorded here in Kittels, can be archived here in Kittels, can be brought back up and shown for investigative purposes or shown for prosecutorial purposes. This is a wonderful expansion. The government and people of Taiwan could have checked the box and said, after they gave us the first 200, they could have said, well, we're done, we've given them CCTV. But we went back and we said, the CCTV has been doing a wonderful job. We hope that hope that you can continue this partnership and expand our network. They have agreed to do that. They've given us better technology than they gave us the first time around. And I, for one, am very grateful to Taiwan for this continued support. I know that the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who are in the main, overwhelmingly law-abiding citizens, are also grateful for this cooperation and support. The ambassador mentioned, again, tourism and alluded to the growth of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that's a very important part of our developmental vision and our developmental plans. But for tourism to grow as we want it to grow, we have to also remain a low crime jurisdiction. Because if things happen to tourists, I'm not saying that things should happen to locals and not tourists, because you shouldn't have crime anywhere. Excuse me. But it doesn't take many crimes against tourists for you to set back your tourism aspirations by a decade. And so as we expand into tourism, it's very important that we consider the safety and security of the people that we invite into St. Vincent and the Grenadines as tourists. And I also think that this will play an important role in that regard. So we have our cameras, we have our cooperation framework, we have the good pattern of cooperation that has existed between Taiwan and the government, particularly with the ITSD. We have knowledge transfer taking place so that the ITSD staff will be able to maintain and repair these cameras when they're transferred fully to us. All that we have to do now is go out there and install them. And I hope that we proceed expeditiously. Crime is an issue that is near and dear to the heart of all Vincentians. We all want less crime. We all want safer streets. We all want to feel more secure in our homes and when we walk down the road at night. And this adds to that mix. You also need leadership from the police. You also need good parenting. You also need a stronger role of NGOs and the church and all the rest of it. But this is an important aspect of our fight against crime, and an invaluable one. And for those reasons, I really am grateful, and I would like to congratulate Ambassador Fan and her team for this work. And I would like to be able to brag that now, as I am advised, I had a quick call with my IT colleagues across the OECS. And when we have rolled out this next batch, I'm advised that within the Eastern Caribbean, we will have the widest deployment of closed-circuit television cameras anywhere in the Eastern Caribbean. And I'm very proud of that as well. So thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you very much to ITSD. Thank you to the police, especially Inspector Rodney and his team downstairs in Kittels. Let us go forward together, applying technology to solve some of the pressing developmental challenges that we have. There is no country better placed to help teach us how to use technology than Taiwan. And I want to thank Taiwan again for lending their cooperation and support to our own developmental aspirations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Gonsalves, for that quite... Yes, it wasn't too long or too short. It was just right. You know, in economics, they talk about real value and nominal value. And Minister Gonsalves, what you've just done is give us the real value of the relationship between the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the government of the Republic of China on Taiwan. So a round of applause again for our minister. So we are nearing the end of our lovely ceremony here this afternoon. Before I call Mrs. Donette O'Neill to move a vote of thanks, just want to let you know that after the vote of thanks, we would have a demo and a review of those wonderful cameras that Minister Gonsalves spoke about. And then we would have members of the media, along with our ambassador and Minister Gonsalves, along with our director, Mr. Brown, and other officials from Taiwan. We will go on a tour of the control center downstairs. And we also have refreshments for you, so don't go anywhere after the vote of thanks. Mrs. O'Neill, it's now over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will follow the protocol that has already been established. According to Cicero, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. I feel honored and privileged to have the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. On behalf of the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology, under whose portfolio the project falls, I would like to thank Almighty God for allowing us to see another beautiful day on this earth. Your Excellency, Ambassador Fiona H.C. Fan, we wish to express our profound gratitude to the government and people of the Republic of China on Taiwan for their long and outstanding friendship with the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and for their generosity over the years, in particular, the funding of the project being launched today, and also for your very captivating remarks. Sincere thanks go out to our own Honorable Camilo Gonçalves, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology, for your usual engaging remarks. I found your comments very enlightening, especially those on the history of the collaboration with the many projects that we've had with Taiwan. Special thanks go to Mr. Christopher Benjamin, Assistant Commissioner of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. Your very eloquent remarks were very informative and thought-provoking. Thank you for providing this location to accommodate this launch. I'd also like to thank Mr. Carlin Brown, our Director of Information Technology Services Division, the department tasked with the implementation of the Enhancing Safety with Intelligent Video Analytics project, and for also delivering such stimulating remarks with such clarity. I'd also like to thank the members of the consultant team of Trend Micro and Systems and Technology Corporation from Taiwan, who deliver training and are responsible for the configuration and setup of the cameras, respectively. I'd also like to thank our project manager, Mr. Ray Won, and the Taiwan delegation who has accompanied Ambassador Fan. I'd like to thank Mrs. Simone Joseph Oliver for blessing us with the opening prayer. The members of the media, including ITFX, for providing the sound system, and API for recording this ceremony. Thank you. Also, the ushers, Mrs. Tonya Martin and Mrs. Kidona Oliver Bala, thank you for assisting us with directing everyone. A special thanks to the ITSD staff for their tireless efforts and behind-the-scene works and their dedication to duty. Special thank you to Mr. Nikora Spencer and Mr. Frankie Haynes as well from ITSD. Finally, I would like to thank all other invited guests present here for taking the time out to be with us today and helping us make this event a grand success. Thank you, one and all. I almost forgot. I forgot to thank Mrs. Desiree Armstrong for her excellent chairmanship of the ceremony. I had to say that before she rebuked me when she came up.
Mrs. O'Neill, you letted me out. Okay, so we would now journey to my right, where we would have a demonstration of what the cameras have to offer.
Yes. Welcome. Thank you, Minister, Ambassador, and Mr. Benjamin. These are the three types of camera that we are planning to deploy here. We will show you short video on the usage of our body camera so that you could see how the quality will be. So we pretend a situation.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, officer. How are you? Good, officer. I'm Corporal Elvis McKiddles, doing a routine traffic check. Could I see your license and registration, please?
Officer, we want all that for. We want all that for.
when an officer asks you to see your registration and license, to check and inspect it to make sure that you have a valid license.
Officer, I just want to harass people all the time.
What is the name, mister?
Officer, I don't have a name.
Where are you from?
The last time the officers asked me for my name, I give them and they never give me back. So I don't have a name.
Where are you from? Failing to give a name and address to officer in uniform is an offense, sir. And you're required, if you don't, we can arrest you. I can arrest you for that offense.
All right, sir.
So, what's your name, sir?
My name is Mr. Rodney, sir.
Where are you from, sir?
I'm from North Leeward, sir.
So could I see your license and registration, please?
All right.
Yes.
You can't find it, man. You can't find it, man.
Somewhere here, sir. Somewhere here, sir. Somewhere here.
A lot of cards in the wallet.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rodney?
Yes, sir.
Everything seems to be good? Up to date? You have a blessed day?
Thank you very much, sir. If
Drive
all
safe.
officers could be like you, sir, then we have a wonderful St. Vincent and Grenadines, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Have a good day, sir.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
That we plan to deploy across the country. So these are the 360 camera. Yes, they have capability of tracking objects, tracking people. But not only that, now this camera could help the police now to do better investigation. For instance, let's think about your festival time or your national day is coming soon. We'll have people gather somewhere. So this camera now can help police to identify who is the troublemakers, for instance. This kind of capabilities are possible because this camera have up to 33x zooms. So they can capture image up to 100, 120 meters from the location where they are. So at night, they work very well as well. And as you can see, the quality. Yeah, I'll let you enjoy for a while so that you could see what was, yes. So here we try to show the quality of the image. So we here at the front of the supermarket, and we can be able to capture this kind of image quality. So we try to capture daytime as well as the nighttime quality so that we could see what could be pursued, could be seen by these cameras. You can see, we can identify almost who is here, how many people, when something happened, can be able to do a forensic analysis on the image to be able to identify possible faces or who possibly that could be. As you can see, it's also possible for this camera to identify plates even from far away. So those are some of the performance of the cameras. And yeah. So you can see the details. That is the nighttime. And you can see the detail of the ground, for example, how it could be clear in terms of quality image as data. These plates are above 50, 70 meters from the location, 100 meters from the location, but we still can identify them clearly. So, yeah. So next will be our zooming, daytime and nighttime. So there's a shortcut by the airport, Joshua Airport, which we try to zoom from our location so you can see clearly. That far, we're able to see this view. You can be able to see people even from here. So the camera has the capacity that will help police, we believe, to do better their job and with less effort. Yeah. Yes, so at the same time, we are going to have the enhancement of the existing cameras. So this camera, like almost like 2 times the capacity of the one we have now in terms of resolution. So we expect to get the better of it because we heard the complaints, and based on the complaints, we try to work on what could be better for the second phase. So yes, we will have those camera. Yes, so basically that's what I would like to share with you. Thank you for your time.